Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show that we are discussing today and want to avoid spoilers, stop right there. Go binge and come on back. If you have or don't mind spoilers, sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy.
Welcome to the second episode of Coffee and Dramas with yours truly and my lovely wife that you cannot see. For this episode, quickly, sorry about the technical difficulties we had with your voice, with your audio. We had issues with the microphone. So today we will be doing Memories of Alhambra with Hyunbin and Park Shin-hye.
Nice.
And this came out last year, if I remember correctly, 2019 or 2018?
It's 2018.
Actually, yeah, 2018, yes, because we went to, it was December 2018, roughly around there. Because in 2019, we decided to go to Granada on our honeymoon to visit the Palace of Alhambra.
That's true.
So this is a pretty intense show, a pretty amazing show. The cast was honestly awesome. They had a great cast with Hyunbin, which is a veteran actor in the K-drama world. Same with Park Shin-hye. She's been around for quite a while, even though she's our age. Chanyeol from EXO, who did a little screen time but did a great job.
Oh, he's amazing.
And then the newcomer Lee Jae-wook, who played Marco.
Such a great role.
Yeah, I think that was his starting role. A major kind of role, I guess you could say. He was in quite a few other, 2 or 3 other things, if I remember correctly. Search WWW and Extraordinary You, which both came out in the last couple of years. Yeah. And he finally got a starring role this year.
Nice.
When Dodo Lala Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, let's go with that. So with Goara, which is great for him. So this show was a lot about based around a video game. Yeah. An AR, so augmented reality, not VR, which is virtual reality. There is a difference. Yes. Those who don't know games, virtual reality is being immersed into the video game, whereas augmented reality is that the video game is played in real life, right? So obstacles and...
Like Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, exactly. Like Pokemon Go and Ingress and the like. So based really around video games, it's a journey that takes over a year, right?
I think almost 2 years.
Almost actually. 2 years, yeah. Because he goes from, because he plays for a year. Yeah. And then
pretty much disappears for like another year.
Yeah. That was, So pretty much quick summary of the show. Chanyeol's character creates a game, an AR game, and gets screwed over by his friend Marco and ends up disappearing into the game. So at the beginning you don't even know where he disappears to. So his sister, so this is taking place in Granada while they're in Spain, and his sister doesn't know where he is, doesn't really she cares obviously, but doesn't really they weren't really in like a close enough relationship to be like, oh, where are you going? I'm going here kind of thing, right? So when the Hyunbin's character gets called frantically, he calls him frantically while he's trying to like escape, and right before he disappears, and that's what brings him to Granada. and that's where they kind of start to interact, him and Park Shin-hye. So that's where the real adventure starts, right? The show really talks about a lot of different things, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in the show.
Elements in it.
Yeah. One of the major aspects, actually, I thought about this the other day, rewatching some of the show, is it really touches on, as gamers, as you know, children to adults, you really get into the game. So if you're really into gaming, you really get into the game. So you play and play and play and play and play. So if you're playing like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Diablo, stuff like that, even games like GTA, you know, console games like that, games like the Tom Clancy's newer games, you really get into it. Like as a gamer, as a person who likes to play these types of games, you really, really invest time in it. Even mobile games now, it's the same way. You really start to get invest in it.
Star Wars.
That's right. I've been playing Star Wars for the last, 4 or 5 years now.
It's an obsession almost. It's like a habit.
I wouldn't, a habit. I wouldn't say obsession for me anyways. It's a habit. Whereas I'll take out my phone, you know, do the social media thing, and then do a good 5-10 minutes of the game, you know, taking your phone to the bathroom, you know what I mean? Play the game for a bit. So it is, you know, you invest your time in it and you don't really want to stop, right? Especially when you have a goal to attain.
Well, especially when it's in, like, I think an AR game, because you're so immersed into it, it would be super interesting because then you actually get to kind of play in real life. Like, it's one thing to play Pokemon Go and have your phone out, but when you have these type of contact lenses and you're kind of just going with it, it kind of seems super interesting. And
it does. It gives that. Well, speaking of Pokemon Go, when that really first started, that was such a huge game changer with mobile games. You know, games in general. And that really brought everybody, you know, people who don't even like Pokemon or who liked Pokemon as a kid but didn't like it anymore. You know what I mean? Just like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I dreamed of being a Pokemon master, and I can do that now, right? Excuse me. So it really, people kept coming out. So we got massive amounts of people coming out, going to Confederation Park, you know, right here in Ottawa. In New York, it was in oh my God, Central Park. You know, these major places, you'll see people congregating to play this game, right? So at one point in the show in Memories of Alhambra, they show this, right? When they finally launched the game, you see, you know, in like one of the major squares in Seoul, it's just random, like people playing the game and bystanders just walking by thinking like, what the hell's going on? Right? Because it's almost like, because when they're playing it, there's no device with them, right? It's the contact lens.
Yeah, it's all AR. It's all in their heads. It's all, like, no one else if you don't have the contact lenses, you don't see what's actually going on and what they're doing. What kind of, like we were talking about this the other night, rewatching, like how interesting it would be to just walk past someone just fighting another person and you're like, what is going on? Like, because you can go see the people in the parks playing like like live action role playing, but you don't see the weapons in their hand.
That's interesting, because it's like it's the same concept, where is you build this character and then you can with live action role playing, you bring the weapons, you bring like whatever you cosplay, right? And you have like other people are cosplaying too, and then you just fight it out, you duel or whatever. So with the game, with the AR game in the show, that you don't see it. You don't see like anything, right?
It's so funny.
So it's hard to say which one's funnier, right? Because like, people cosplaying, and like I'd love to cosplay like the professional people who put time and effort into their costumes and go.
As long as they enjoy it, right?
Oh, I'd love it too. But you know, I mean, you're like, oh, okay, they're you know, fighting as you know, Goku and Vegeta or you know, whereas this, it's like plain clothes and like a jacket and jeans.
And nothing in their hands.
And nothing's in their hands, and you don't know what's going on. So it's pretty interesting. But so back to what I was trying to get to. The people who are into these games, right, who invest their times in these games, it really shows the show really portrayed that kind of aspect of a gamer. Okay, so when you spend the time and effort in building a character like Skyrim. I got into Skyrim when this pandemic started. I thought I've always wanted to play Skyrim, and I never got the chance. I always watched people play it. I was like, you know what, I got a Steam gift card. I'm gonna use it. So I got into it, played it, and you start playing it and you start investing time. You're like, oh yeah, you're upgrade this skill, upgrade that skill, get this weapon, buy even buy this place. Oh, I can get a horse, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So you really invest your time in him. And that's what he showed. Like Hyunbin's character showed in the show was like how much time and effort he's putting into his skill level. Right. And at first you see his transition as just a CEO who just wants to invest in this game, wants to be the first one to invest, and his rival was trying to get to it, right? His ex-best friend wanted to get it first. And so you see from just getting it, the money aspect of it, to actually, oh, okay, Chanyeol's missing, like we need to find, like, I gotta find him for her, to, man, I'm gonna keep playing, I gotta get better and better and better, to I need to get better because I need to find him now,
and my life technically depends on it,
right? So at that point it's like, oh crap, I can't stop playing. If I stop playing, I'm dead, he's dead, everybody's dead. You know what I mean? Like, people are dying in real life because of the game. Like, I can't stop. If I stop now, more people will die, kind of thing, right? And like, Chanyeol will never be found. So you see the dedication he has playing the game, and as much as people will repeatedly tell other gamers, oh, you waste too much time on the game, some people, you know what I mean? Some, like, you just have that drive to play. You want to play. You feel comfortable playing. You feel at ease playing. It's like a stress reliever. Sometimes it gives you more stress than anything. Oh my goodness. That's why I stopped playing FIFA. But so for some people, it's the only real, I don't want to say real interaction with people, but it gives, like, with the online, with the MMORPG, the mass multiplayer online games, you get a lot of people interacting with each other. You know what I mean? At one point when we were in high school and people were World of Warcraft was huge. People were getting married on there, actually, in real life.
Oh, were they actually?
Yeah, there's people meeting and they're getting married, and you know what I mean? There was a lot of relationship building around that, because you meet people.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's like you meet people online, you build friendships and whatever and stuff like that. So you really build your community. Yeah. If that's what you do is you're playing games all day. Why not build a community, right? Why not build a friendship with other people playing the game with you who spend that much time on the game as much as you do, right? That way it's like, really, it's less lonely. Yeah. Right? And
something to look forward to, in a sense.
Yeah. And sometimes, people don't have personally, like, the social aptitude to make friends that easily in real life. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's really hard.
Example A.
Right? Example B. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard because there's certain aspects of your personality that you're too shy. Some people think you're unapproachable. You know what I mean? Like, there's different aspects to it. Absolutely. So sometimes it's really hard for you to really get to make friends. So this way, people can actually do it in game. There's less stress because it's like, oh, doesn't like whatever, I'm gonna go find another person to play with, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like I'm gonna make friends with this person at work. and they don't like me, but I have to see them every day anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a little different there.
So you already touched this in one of your points. So do you think when he first started playing the game, do you think he was playing it to buy the game and he wanted to experience it and everything like that. But then he met Chanyeol's sister and then obviously they both started developing feelings towards each other. Do you think in the end he was trying to find her brother for her, or was he still trying to kind of get the game for himself at that point?
I personally, watching the show, I think he was doing it not just for her, but for him as well. Because he experiencing the game, playing the game as long as he has been, he's realized this game is genius, and this kid is a genius.
Yeah.
And the crap that he went through to disappearing didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, he got screwed over by his friend, and he's like, well, this kid's a genius. Like, he should be the one, you know, working on this game. And at the end, where they decided to, you know, get him on the game when they finally got it up and running again.
Yeah.
They brought him in, right? Because they wanted the creator of the game to be back in developing the game.
Which makes sense technically.
Yeah, exactly. And I do, and like I really think it was him developing feelings for her and realizing, okay, I'm gonna find her brother for her, for him, for me, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in the end, like, he was about to lose everything anyways. They were gonna kick him out of being CEO.
Well, yeah, they thought he was crazy at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So until he
until they saw it firsthand.
Yeah. So I think it is because his feelings changed, right?
Yeah.
His feelings towards her
Absolutely.
changed. I 100%. Yeah.
So when do you think the video game screwed up? I think for me personally, I think it was when they were in the cafe and the whole Marco stabbing Chanyeol and everything, and it just kind of malfunctioned the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that because they were in game, and the reason why I think they were in game is because you can see Emma in the background.
Okay, yeah.
So
actually, the pirates were there too.
The pirates were there too. So him stabbing Chanyeol caused, I'm pretty sure. What's that?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Don't worry, they'll be at the beginning of the episode now. When he stabbed Chanyeol, that's when Emma's peacekeeping ability clicked in.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what I'm pretty sure that's what triggered the whole thing, because he got stabbed but still got hurt.
Yeah.
When in game with the in-game weapons, he wouldn't have been able to stab him because she would have stopped it.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the bug happened then and there, where she tried to stop that from happening, right? But it didn't work because it was real life,
exactly.
right? I think that's the first bug. I think that's where everything just screwed up and then went the wrong way.
So, obviously, we're not program developers or anything. How does someone fix that? Like, how do you fix such a huge...
Where people die in real life?
Yeah.
You can't fix that. I don't know.
But like, from the game's point of view, like you actually, like, obviously in the game you feel like you're getting stabbed and it looks like you're bleeding.
Yeah.
But then in real life, you're actually hurt.
Yeah.
Like his best friend got stabbed in the heart. How? Like,
yeah, that was, yeah, I have no idea for that. Like, it's I know. An example that's similar to the show would be Sword Art Online.
Oh, that's true, eh?
Right. Whereas that's VR, right? But that VR headset right? What it did was it tapped into your nervous system.
Yeah.
And that's why in the first season, spoiler alert for Sword Art Online, it kills off people in the game because it was attached to their nervous system. So I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how they did it in this show because it was a contact lens.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there must be a lot of nerves then.
Maybe. I'm not sure how it, like, it is, again, it is sci-fi, it is television. Yeah. So
if only it was reality.
You, like, as much as people always want to say about, like, television shows, whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, horror, drama, whatever, sometimes they'll be like, oh, that wouldn't happen in real life. That wouldn't happen in real life. Well, no. Because it's not real life. Let's get this one straight. It is a television show. It is created. It is written by writers from their minds. And you have to understand that with television, just like books and comic books, you can write whatever you want.
Yeah.
It is up to the writer to create the story, to create the atmosphere, to create the characters. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, of course it won't happen in real life because I'm not Hyunbin. Right? I'm not Chanyeol. You know what I mean? Love to be, but it's a fictional story, right?
Yeah.
Unless it says it's based on true events or based on a true story.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's an aspect that should be realistic. But again, television is television. Movies are movies. They're scripted. So there's always going to be that slight far-fetched aspect to these stories, right? Yeah. And that's what that's what I really like about this show in particular and the K-drama universe. The K-drama, you know what I mean? They think outside the box.
Absolutely.
Like the C-dramas, like the Chinese dramas and Taiwanese dramas and the Japanese dramas. A lot of the Asian dramas, they always think outside the box. So they'll take a regular story, boy meets girl, girl falls in love with boy. You know what I mean? Like the typical A plus B equals C. And they'll take that story and then they'll just kind of rip it apart. Okay.
And put so much us into it.
They'll get rid of the box and then they'll go A plus 3 minus n equals this plus that plus a. You know what I mean? Like they'll make this entire equation and it'll still equal C. Yeah. Right.
But there's so much involved and there's such a great storyline.
Exactly.
And so much stuff happening.
Right. And they try and keep that story straight. Right?
Absolutely. Sometimes
the Chinese dramas are a little out there. Yeah. And I love it. They're fun to watch. They're very entertaining and they're great actors for the shows that I've watched. But those are the Chinese dramas are out there, very out there. The K-dramas are a little bit more grounded, depending on the show, obviously, itself. Yeah. But this show particularly, what it did was it took a sci-fi, right, fantasy sci-fi aspect of AR gaming, because AR gaming is not fake. It's there. We have AR gaming, right? But it takes that and it kind of gives it a little sci-fi aspect to it, right? And then what it does, it grounds it by putting in real people, right? By getting the real, the real, like Chanyeol is just a young game developer. He was a programmer, right? Yeah. Loved games, started programmed the game, right? You hear that all the time. If you're into that scene, the gaming scene, you'll hear about a lot of like younger programmers creating games, right? You have Park Shin-hee's character who was just a guitarist, you know what I mean, running the hostel in Granada, right? So they're taking these aspects of these real life aspects and then grounding the entire storyline, kind of trying to keep it real and keep everybody, right? Yeah. But again, obviously it's a show, so you have the action aspect. Yeah. But again, the action aspect is not far-fetched because it's a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So all the gunslinging, the stabbing, the sword fighting. It's all in game. So technically, this show isn't really sci-fi when it comes to that, or like it's not really fiction-ish for that aspect.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all in game. So nobody else, unless you're playing the game in the show, no one else knows what the hell you're doing. You just look like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Right? The sci-fi aspect to that is people dying in the game in real life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I really liked about the show, is that it really had like a nice balance between the two.
Absolutely.
And yeah. Sorry. My thought just stopped. Well,
yeah. Honestly, I really like this show. Like the whole love story aspect, the sacrifice, the storyline, like everything was just great. And like it just flowed well. I know some people, like I've seen some reviews, some people didn't like it, thought it was too far-fetched, but it's a show again. Like
exactly. That's
what
the
do you
problem,
expect?
right? Exactly. It's like what do you if you're someone that likes Twilight but can't watch, you know what I mean, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Come on. You prefer the shiny vampires versus the dystopian future? Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like it's that really bugs me. But you mentioned sacrifices, and that's a good theme for the show as well. Is you'll see throughout the show how much Hyung Bin's character really sacrifices throughout the show. In the end, thankfully, he doesn't really. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Actually, no. Let me. Let's rewind that for a second. So, throughout the show, you see how much he sacrifices, right?
Well, how much everyone really does, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a big thing. But I feel like he did the major sacrifice.
Yeah.
Where, spoiler, guys, and in the end, the only way to, and he figured this out at one point, the only way to get Chanyeol out to save him was to replace him.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like, you know, it's like that scene from Indiana Jones where he has to replace the weight so that the boulder doesn't come rolling down, but he screws up and the boulder still comes rolling down. So it's interesting thing because by the end of it, you're like, oh, when he fixes the bugs, right? Which is really sad because he's literally killing his friends again.
Yeah.
He ends up
his assistant.
Yeah,
Sorry.
his assistant. Yeah, he was amazing.
Oh, he was so good.
And so when he had to get rid of the final bug, which was him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard for him to do that because you're literally, what you're doing is you're trading yourself for another person.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of Chanyeol being trapped in what he called an instance dungeon, so it's, in gaming terms, it's not the right term to use, I think, when I was looking into that, because I never really heard of that, an instance dungeon, but it sounds really cool. But it's pretty much, it's a like a cheat code where you can avoid enemies in the game. It's kind of like a cloaking device, right? But what you do is you're in a pocket dimension, is what I would like to call it.
Pretty much just protecting himself from Marco, really.
Exactly. So the way he programmed it is that you have to get master level to be able to get him out of that, right? And to be able to go to like fix things, right? Yeah. So what Chanyeol was pretty much insinuating in the end is like he could be, and he most likely is, in an instance dungeon. Yeah. Right? So he pretty much sacrificed his entire life, right? Through that, especially that whole year he spent, everybody thinks he's crazy. He was about to he was pretty much getting kicked out of being CEO of his own company. Yeah. He didn't see Park Shin-hee for a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was really hard for her and him, but he was very constant. She was very determined. Like he was, so
I think they were just meant to be together.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the end, like pretty much giving up his life for Chanyeol's life, right?
Absolutely. Which is like the ultimate sacrifice.
Right.
And like it in the end, did he do it for her or did he do it for the kid, you know?
Yeah, and that's like you can't even if I tell you, yeah, I think he did it for her and for him, I can't even guarantee it because maybe he actually did it just for her.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe he wanted her to be happy and have her brother back, right? Or maybe he did it because he thought he was actually going to die in the end, but didn't realize he could do that, right? Maybe he did it by accident in the end.
Oh, that's true.
Right? Where he thought, I'm going to sacrifice myself because everybody else is dying because of me kind of thing, right?
Which, what is it? Survivor's remorse kind of thing?
Yeah, type of deal. So I can't answer that fully. If you know, one of the actors ever watches this or listens to this, it'd be great if they could answer it. Or the writer of the show, because that writer was awesome.
There might be a second season.
That's true.
In talks. Hasn't been confirmed, but I'd like it to be confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. So...
overall thought of the show?
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah.
The story really... there was no dragging along.
No.
It was fun, right? It was intense. And it...
laugh, cry.
Yeah, all the above.
Like feel
love. I personally wish, because I love Chanyeol, I love EXO, and I would have loved to have him in like more scenes, obviously, but
that could potentially be the second season.
Yeah, I know, but like, so for this, I completely understand why he had a major role. Like if he didn't go missing,
yeah,
then the story goes nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? He sells the game, done. So that's a major, he played a major, like a pivotal role, pretty much, right? So I understand why he wasn't into many things, but again, I'm very biased there. But it was really great. It was really great. It was really, 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 really good. Park Shin-hee, I love Park Shin-hee. She's always great. She's always awesome. We'll cover some of her other shows soon.
Yeah.
One show we need to watch, just like segue, Pinocchio. I really want to watch it. It's with her and Lee Jung-suk.
Oh,
yeah, it's from a few years ago. So it's two. Yeah, it's two pretty great actors in there too, right? So, yeah, I recommend it. Love it.
Yeah.
Would watch it again 1,010 times. I must say, long episodes. Usually, they're like an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I think I was like, we watched it one night and I was tired and I'm just like, can I...
One night?
All nights?
Every night we watched it? I watch half now and we'll have
but
tomorrow.
It's such a good show that like, even if you're tired, you still want to finish it. And it's like
that's what sucks is like when and that's what sucks. So when we're watching it together, I don't go forward, I stop, right? So if I watch a show like that, I'll be up until like 1 a.m. and be like, oh wait, I should go to bed. No, I'll stay up one more episode, one more episode, right?
An addiction.
It's sometimes. But yeah, I think there's so much more to cover on the show, but it's so there's so much that happens in the show.
Absolutely.
There's so much happens in the show. Like the relationship between Hyun-bin, his ex and his ex best friend. Right? That's a whole other level of
I feel like we could essentially talk about this show all the time.
Yeah.
For like episodes and episodes.
Exactly. And then his relationship with his ex best friend's father, right? The professor.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing, especially after he dies.
Yeah.
Right? And then the father resents him.
Yeah. Because
it's like, oh, you killed my son, blah, blah, and all that stuff, right? And it's like that messes up a relationship there too, right? and then his relationship with his partner, right?
His wife.
Or his, it was his, I can't remember.
They were either girlfriend or like married, and she's crazy. And
yeah, she was.
I just didn't like her from the start.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a useful character she was, because in my mind, she wasn't. She's a great actress.
Yeah, she's good.
But
I think it just kind of gave you like some background.
Yeah, I can see that. And actually no, I gotta say she did screw stuff up.
Yeah.
Eventually, which caused more issues. So that was another. That's fine. Yeah. She was important in one part.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the relation. You didn't really get to see the relationship between Park Shin-hye and Chen Yo. They didn't get a lot of screen time together, which kind of sucks because like I would have loved to see them more together.
But it kind of shows like how he made Emma, like how much he does care about his sister and how much he looks up to her. That
was really interesting, right? Because you don't see their connection together, right? You don't see how close they were, but they talk about it, but you see how much he looked up to her and cared about her and saw how he viewed her as a person.
Absolutely.
Right? And it was amazing. That's why it'd have been nice to have like a little bit more together, but again, the story
Season 2.
Yeah, we'll see. And then so a lot of the relationships we could like really expand on, but I don't want to go into.
We'd be here for days.
Yeah. So we'll keep it at that for now. Maybe we'll do a part 2 sometime.
Absolutely.
Rewatch the show again. So yeah, if you haven't watched the show yet and you just got all those spoilers, I'm sorry.
We warned you.
You had a warning. You should have stopped. But definitely recommend this show.
Absolutely.
Great cast. Great writer, great director. Cinematography was amazing.
Especially with all the CGI and everything.
Yeah. Oh man, all the CGI for the AR was amazing. They picked great locations.
Beautiful locations.
Yeah.
Granada is gorgeous.
We got to go to Granada, like we mentioned earlier, for our honeymoon. And got to go around the palace and saw all the places that he went to. Tried to go into the dungeon, but we weren't allowed to go down there. They unfortunately locked it up. But we got to see the palace. We did go to Barcelona. We didn't go to the train station because that's where the only part of Barcelona they really shot at, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think we really ever had a chance to go there, but that's fine.
No, but yeah, that's okay. But that like the palace was amazing. Just like you can see how amazing it was in the show, and in real life it's just phenomenal. It's amazing. I think that's it. I think that's it for today.
Yeah. Follow us, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, sorry.
Yeah, whatever she said. Okay. That's it. We'll see you guys later, and peace.
Adios.